I've been chasing the ball since I can barely walk. Driveways, parks, packed gyms, 5 a.m. workouts. I gave this game everything I had.
John Wall has officially announced his retirement from the NBA, closing the chapter on a career that spanned 11 memorable seasons. For fans, this is a bittersweet moment. The end of a journey that began with so much promise, dazzling athleticism, and leadership, but was also tested by setbacks, injuries, and constant battles to reclaim greatness. When you think of John Wall, you think of speed. The number 1 overall pick in the 2010 NBA draft, Wall came into the league out of Kentucky with expectations sky high. The Washington Wizards made him their franchise cornerstone, a player they believed could change the culture and bring winning basketball back to the nation's capital. And from day one, Wall delivered excitement. His end-to-end speed was breathtaking, his ability to push the ball in transition unmatched, and his flashy playmaking made the Wizards must-watch television. Wall wasn't just about highlight plays, though. He immediately took on the responsibility of being the face of the franchise. Early in his career, Washington wasn't a playoff team, but Wall's leadership slowly shifted the direction. By his 4th season, he had the Wizards back in the postseason, and he gave DC fans something they hadn't felt in years: hope. The 2014 and 2015 playoff runs showed Wall at his best, orchestrating the offense, breaking down defenses, and delivering in big moments. He made the Wizards relevant again. And then in 2017, he reached the peak of his career. That season, Wall averaged 23 points and 11 assists per game, earned All-NBA honors, and led the Wizards to 49 wins, their best record in decades. His Game 6 heroics against the Boston Celtics in the second round, when he hit the game-winning 3 and leapt onto the scorer's table to declare that "this is my city," remains one of the most iconic moments in recent franchise history. At his best, John Wall was one of the most dynamic point guards in the game, a 5-time All-Star, a floor general who could score, pass, defend, and make everyone around him better. His connection with Bradley Beal gave the Wizards one of the most feared backcourts in the league. And yet, as much as his talent shined, Wall's career would also be defined by the cruel reality of injuries. Starting in 2018, everything changed. A series of knee injuries, surgeries, and eventually a devastating Achilles tear robbed Wall of the speed that had made him so special. He missed all of the 2019 and 2020 seasons. By the time he returned, he was no longer the same player who had terrorized defenses with his coast-to-coast drives. The Wizards made the difficult decision to trade him to Houston, marking the end of an era in Washington. With the Rockets, Wall showed flashes of his old self. There were nights where you could still see glimpses of the explosive guard who once dominated the East. But consistency wasn't there, and health continued to be an obstacle. After just one full season, his time in Houston fizzled out. Later, with the Clippers, Wall tried to carve out a new role as a veteran leader and contributor. But again, injuries and reduced minutes limited his impact. And so, after 11 seasons, John Wall has decided it's time. Time to step away from the game he gave everything to. Time to acknowledge that while his career didn't end the way he or his fans imagined, it was still remarkable in its own right. When you look back at Wall's journey, you can't measure it just by championships or stats. His story is bigger than that. He carried a franchise for nearly a decade, gave fans unforgettable memories, and inspired countless young players who saw themselves in his journey from Raleigh, North Carolina, to Kentucky, and then to the NBA spotlight. Off the court, Wall's impact was just as significant. He was known for his philanthropy, especially in Washington, where he supported underprivileged families and consistently gave back to the community. His story of perseverance, not just through injuries but also personal tragedy, including the loss of his mother, showed resilience that went far beyond basketball. Wall's retirement also invites a conversation about legacy. Where does he fit among the greats of his era? For a stretch, he was undoubtedly one of the top point guards in the league. He may not have the championships of Steph Curry or the MVP trophies of Russell Westbrook, but in terms of sheer talent and impact, Wall belongs in that conversation of elite guard from the 2010s. Wizards fans, in particular, will always see him as one of the greatest to ever wear their jersey. The numbers back it up. Over 11 seasons, Wall averaged 18.7 points, 8.9 assists, and 4.2 rebounds per game. He ranks among the top 50 all-time in assists, and he remains the Wizards' all-time leader in that category. He gave them stability at the point guard position for nearly a decade, something few franchises can say. But maybe the best way to define John Wall's career is through the emotions he gave fans. The game-winning shots, the no-look passes, the chase-down blocks, the lightning-fast drives that left defenders frozen. He played with a fire and a confidence that made people believe Washington could compete with anyone. And for a while, they truly did. Retirement is always a complicated word for athletes, especially ones like Wall who had their prime shortened by injuries. But there's also beauty in looking back at what he accomplished, instead of focusing only on what might have been. Few players ever reach the heights Wall did. Few ever carry a franchise the way he did. And few leave behind a legacy as beloved by their city as John Wall in Washington. As Wall steps into the next chapter of his life, the NBA community will remember him as more than just a player. He was a leader, a competitor, a fighter. His story reminds us that greatness isn't always measured in rings or banners. Sometimes it's measured in the connection between a player and a city, in the memories they created together, and in the inspiration they leave behind. So today, we salute John Wall, a 5-time All-Star, the heart and soul of the Wizards for nearly a decade, a player whose speed and passion electrified the league. And now, as he closes this chapter, he leaves behind a legacy that will be remembered long after his final game. John Wall retires from the NBA, but his story will always remain part of basketball history.
Jennings and takes it home. What a play by Wall.
Wall drives and slams it in and get it right back. Wall will go all the way.
John came up with that steal, just picked it off.
Spectacular whirling play by John Wall, putting on his show.
Finds Wall, spins off the glass and Wall. What a spin! Oh my! John Wall with an incredible hang and score.